No weak messages. Rep the truth. Rep the movement. Hit up timblackpauls.com and grab yours today. Because cornbread ain't free.
That's right.
Wolfpack.
Go to timblackpauls.com, pick up your
Next
shirt.
on deck with Tim Black.
Harder, better, faster, stronger. Tonight, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wages that Democrats would do a lot better with voters if they looked less like diplomats searching for a compromise and looked more like prize fighters for the working class.
This isn't just about Republicans. We need a Democratic Party that fights harder for us, too. But what that means is that we, as a community, must choose and vote for Democrats and elected officials who know how to stand for the working class. I want you to look at every level of office around and support brawlers who fight, because those are the ones who can actually win against Republicans. Let's be real about that.
Brawlers. I assume you approve this message.
100%. Absolutely. Democrats are in a crisis right now. They're on life support. They have a testicular fortitude problem. They are not fighting nearly as hard as they need to fight for the American people, as was seen last week during this CR vote in the Senate. It's a problem. And for me, it's not about the parties, because the parties are going to kind of do their thing. It's about the people rising up and holding the parties accountable. Democrats have fighters. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, the whole squad, Greg Casar, Pramila Jayapal, and governors and mayors across the country are fighters. But we need some of the OGs in the party to elevate, uplift the younger people,
or do they
and
need
take a step back.
Do they need to step aside?
Or step aside, because we need to hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people want. And if the party doesn't do that, the party is about to be finished.
I hope that AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Greg Casar, I hope they're the new face of the Democratic Party, because Republicans will be winning elections all over the country if that is the face of the Democratic Party. Are you?
I mean, y'all
listen, a district like mine that Joe Biden won by 10 points, okay, 10 points. Kamala Harris.
Yo, God, I got to say this, because I just wanted to. I got to say this. Jamaal Bowman, he's talking about people got to brawl. They got to stand up. They got to be bold. I remember when Jamaal Bowman was, up for election, right? I tried to get him to come on the show. He wouldn't come on the show. He'd come on the show when he got elected, but he wouldn't come back on the show during the re-election. I guess he was afraid I was going to say some stuff or ask some stuff, and he's right, I was. I was going to ask some stuff. But someone said this to me. Maybe it was better that he didn't. Or maybe it would have helped him. Because he just sat here and he just sat here and said that, Democrats need to fight, need to be brawlers, and they got a testicular fortitude problem. Okay? And I hear him say that. I hear that. But here's the thing. Jamaal Bowman was one of the most outspoken supporters of Palestinians. He was fighting. He was up there, was outspoken. Like one of the most brave, courageous Palestinian folks. And then he got backlash. Yeah, he was all out the gym. He was all out the car, leaning out the car. You're like, get back in the car, Jamal. This is how people fall to their deaths. He's like, no, I'm out the car. I'm feeling it. This is in the wind. You never felt this before. He was doing the whole thing for the Palestinians. Then he hit some turbulence. Yeah. And he tried to backtrack and try to get back in the window. He started modulating this tone on Palestinians. Like, well, maybe a two-state solution would be best. And maybe if we could just stop the fighting. Stop fighting amongst each other. Hey, sit down, chill. Smoke some weed or something. Y'all come to New York and do hip-hop day with me. You start doing that shit. And then all the people that was going to have his back said, oh, he ain't a real one. He ain't a real one, So they feel like he jumped out, tried to get some fire, caught that heat, and then backed away. But by that time, AIPAC had already decided, oh, we coming for you. So he ended up in nowhere's land, right? He ended up not having the support of the Palestinians who he had embraced and was all talking chess and with his chest about. He lost them when he backed away from them, and he couldn't get back to the moderates because he'd already jumped out there. So he ended up holding the bag with nowhere. And this is the guy who's on here saying, y'all need to be courageous and y'all need to have testicular fortitude and y'all need to do this and do that. And that's why I do not like, this is why I'm a Democratic Party hater, man. This is a Democratic Party BS. I'm sure the whole time Jamal was talking that talk, standing up for Palestinians, there were people in his ear telling him this will ruin your career. They were right. But if you're going to say F them, bump them, go to hell, I'm doing what I'm going to do, then do that. Don't go half and then try to rewind and back up out of it. That doesn't work. And see, all the people's channels he went on and all the people he did talk to, none of them brought that up, I'm sure. So they had nice conversation, and they just chopped it up and did everything. And then that's why I say, man, I don't consider Bowman a friend. He's cool. He came on the show one time. Then he froze me out. So I don't feel like I owe you shit. And that's the way I like it. It's business. And the business is you and the Democrats want to talk tough. And here's the thing. If you ain't going to stand up for Palestinians, you're going to have all this talk. It'd be different if you didn't stand up for them. But this is worse. When you stand up for someone and then you back out, that says people can't trust you. And the type of politicians I would bring on my show would have to only be the type that I could trust and I could feel like it's going to ride for Black America. And if you ain't going to do that, you're going to be halfway, and if you get heat, you're going to back out, start modulating it, start toning it down. Nah, man, we don't got time for that. That's not what we need. That's not leadership. And that's the same way AOC was. She did the same thing. She talked tough, and then she was Nancy Bear's the big bear, big mama bear, and all this. She did the same thing. They talked tough, and then they backed down. Who didn't back down? Cori Bush. That's who didn't back down. That was different. All right, let's keep going, y'all. That's more in this segment, but had to give y'all some balance to that, My man talking like he was one of those people that had testicular fortitude.
Won by half a point. Okay, I won by 6.5 points. 24 are. I hope they're the new face of the Democrat.
Hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people rising up and holding the parties accountable. Democrats have fighters. Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Ayanna Pressley, the whole squad, Greg Casar, Pramila Jayapal, and governors and mayors across the country are fighters. But we need some of the OGs in the party to elevate, uplift.
Fight for who? Fight for who? Who they fight for? Not us. Not us. What? Juneteenth? What'd you fight for?
The younger people,
or do they
and
need
take
to,
a step back.
Do they need to step aside?
Or step aside, because we need to hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people want. And if the party doesn't do that, the party is about to be finished.
I hope that AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Greg Casar, I hope they're the new face of the Democratic Party because Republicans will be winning elections all over the country if that is the face of the Democratic Party. Are you?
I mean, y'all
listen, a district like mine that Joe Biden won by 10 points, okay, 10 points. Kamala Harris won by half a point. Okay, I won by 6.5 points, 24,000 votes in a district that has 85,000 more Democrats than Republicans. Why?
And you're right.
Because the
but
Democrats
you ran against a cornball candidate.
He was your friend.
He was not my friend.
He was your friend.
You
long
had
ago.
someone running against you.
Damn, he cleans your clock, Bowman. Stop interrupting dude and let dude talk now. Now you see. There it is. I think Bowman wanted to go put a fire alarm. Hey, Bowman, you about to go put a fire alarm? You almost got time. I'm sure you can go find one to pull.
who is not a strong candidate. And we still
we agree on.
We still have consultants and big money controlling the Democratic Party, compromising
it.
She
did outperform Kamala Harris in her
Come on
district.
now.
Trump did,
Sure.
Trump did better than
But here's my point. New York, look no further than New York, where issues like cashless bail have been a disaster, issues like sanctuary state status, congestion pricing. In districts like mine, where Democrats on paper should win big, they're losing. And so if the messenger is AOC, who, by the way, was originally from my district, she grew up in Yorktown, not the Bronx. If AOC is the face of the Democratic Party in swing districts all across this country, she will mobilize voters way more than Nancy Pelosi ever did.
Let me just add the counterpoint within the Democratic Party to what AOC is saying. From this is Elisa Slotkin. She gave the Democratic response to the State of the Union address much more of a moderate voice in the party. Listen.
Oh God, no!
I can't just chain myself to the White House and become an activist full time because you and others here are going to call me for things that you need. All of those things require me to be more than just an AOC. I can't do what she does because we live in a purple state and I'm a pragmatist. I gotta save things for my people.
See, damn, I'm a pragmatist. She called AOC, name-checked AOC. Bowman, what you gonna say? I know you gonna fight for your girl. She came out and campaigned for him. Did she campaign for Cory Bush? I think she did. I don't know.
Things are getting messy.
Come on, son.
It's getting very messy.
That's white flag energy right there.
Names are being
white flag energy right.
White flag energy. She living. Nah, man, she's right. Like you gotta. You are where you are, where you live at, where your district is. You got to be about the needs of the district. And if the needs of the district, if those people are not progressive like that, like why would you be like they don't want no sanctuary? Like whatever. It's a different thing. So basically, this is what's happening, guys. This is what I think is happening. AOC is out here taking shots. When she's saying those things, people are questioning the Congress people in their districts, their Congress people, and so, well, AOC and Bernie said, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, 90% of our district are these people. You're small, loud minority group, ain't gonna get me elected. And you damn sure ain't got enough money to help me run a race that's gonna be, doable, that I'm gonna be able to handle the incoming from the Republican if I won, even if I do somehow manage to win the primary. So no way, right? So there's realities to the politics, that and where you live at and where you're running. And that's one of the reasons why, politics is very much so cutthroat, because it all depends on those things. So what's working for AOC in her district may not be the same demographics that work for Jasmine Crockett or work for, Bowman, Jamaal Bowman and his.
Right there.
No, I think she's right.
What do you mean you think she's right?
First
of all, even choosing her to give the response to Governor Trump.
That's your party.
Governor Trump. I should call him Governor Trump.
That's
President Trump was a problem.
You should be the chairman, by the way.
This is crazy.
All right, let me let Joe finish.
Go ahead, brother.
She is right in the sense that it's easy to throw grenades. You can be AOC and throw grenades all day in a safe district and not have to account for anything. There's a huge delta between the hype of AOC and the accomplishments of AOC. And frankly, if you look at that tour she was just on with Bernie Sanders, right? It was called the Fighting Olive.
That means he's right when people are like, dude, Shepard. Oh shit, what I'm gonna say? I don't got nothing to say. I got nothing here. I thought you guys prepped me. Give me something in my earbud here. What's going on? That's right. I'm not somebody with any pull here. I got nothing.
Oligarchy tour, right? They essentially traveled the country and spoke to an echo chamber of people who already agree with them. How is she and Bernie Sanders, with their message, going to attract people in swing districts?
I guess what I wonder is maybe what they're looking at is actually.
I'm scared of AOC.
I welcome her to
there
my
are Democrats I'm scared of. There are Democrats
maybe what they're looking at, Joe, is what the Republicans did, which is all of the guys who stood around screaming in Congress and not passing any legislation. Those folks are in power now. They won at the end of the day.
I think that This is where I will actually agree with you. I do think that there is a difference between Bernie Sanders and AOC going and talking to our base, and a difference between the senator who was just elected, has to show results for her state, has to, in a swing state, a battleground state, and she has to deliver something, versus AOC and Bernie are just, they're talking about the base. I will say I was at the DNC in 2017 after almost this exact same situation. Bernie Sanders asked Chuck Schumer, let me go out and talk to our base. This is exactly what he did in 2016. It's 2017. This is deja vu. You know what happened when Nancy Pelosi? Everybody was asking for her to resign. You know what she did? She embraced the new generation of the Democratic Party, lifted them up, and said, you know what? I'm going to step aside after the midterm elections, and I'm going to lift everybody else up.
And that's why she worked to block AOC from becoming a ranking member of the committee.
That also happened. Look, rose-colored glasses this woman got on. It wasn't a good thing. They didn't get along. No, it wasn't like that. She rewriting history. Yeah.
Tens of millions of people who are staying home. They're staying home because we're not elevating new voices in the Democratic Party.
They're staying home because they can't stand the Democrats. They're not running on anything. You know, what are you going to do? It's easy to talk now. You're out of power. And that's another thing, man. These people are going, Bernie and AOC are going to places, to friendly audiences, talking about stuff they have no power to do. What are you doing? You should have been doing this when Biden was president. Don't want to do it then, because you might be held accountable to actually do some of the shit that you're talking about. But if you do it when you're out of power, and you just point in Trump and say, Orange Man bad, and we need clothes, we need the rent to pay for, and we need to get the heat going, and we need the water, and the oligarch, and the racial inequality, and the wealth gap, and the Gilded Age, and then you do all of this, and the millionaires and the billionaires and the trillionaires. You do all that talking, and like nobody there can say, hey, okay, what you got done? What you doing? What are you doing for me? Nothing. It's just talk. So Bernie's playing his greatest hits. And I brought it in 2015, Johnson. In 2014, I thought, wow, this guy's talking about a federal jobs guarantee. He's talking about ending mass incarceration. He's talking about universal health care. He's talking about free local college tuition. Now what Biden's talking about free local college tuition. Biden was talking about erasing student debt. It's a different thing. So I was like, I never heard a politician talk about these things. I was interested. I got a bit. I was interested. I wasn't into politics like that. I just wanted things for my community. And he was running, and I thought he could beat Hillary, and he could deliver on some of those things he was running on, right? But man, it's 10 years later. And he's still been in the conversation. He almost won the primary in 2016. He was running again in 2020, got bushwhacked. He's still saying the same stuff he said in 2015. What has got accomplished out of that? It sounds good. It sounds good.
Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.